Today, we are going to discuss about the topic impact of globalization on women. It is a topic of gender development subject. So, in introduction part, we can discuss about the globalization. What is globalization, and how it is affected to women in India, especially. Globalization is you know the LPG, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. That is a part of new economic policy in 1991. Uh, so, in globalization, especially, there is a global network to produce, distribute, and consumption, and this is the lot of companies, especially a lot of multinational companies are working in different sectors and different nations, without any reservations. So, in a global scenario, uh, there is a there is a scope for every uh, firm to work with every people. So globalization can be defined as it is a complex economic, political, cultural, and geographical process. So there is a complex economic, there is economic exploration, political exploration, cultural aspects. There is integration, diffusion of cultural aspects of different nations, and geographical. Especially there are no boundaries at present. Especially we can travel from anywhere to anywhere. So geographical, it is also a geographical process in which the mobility of capital, that means capital means there are four factors of production: land, labor, capital, and enterprises. Capital means it is a input which we put to produce something. Capital, there are organizations, multinational organizations, there are international ideas and now local ideas, there is discourses, and people has taken a global and transactional form. Transactional corporations are using the profit motive to guide their factories towards developing nations. So this is very important. Globalization is a process of growing, developing, and expanding the business, services, technologies throughout the world. That is very important. So this is globalization will translate the higher rates of economic growth and improvement in the standard of living of the people in living in the especially in developing nations. So globalization, the impact of globalization is now seen in every war. You can see in every war, there is increasing substantially, the creating new opportunities for the developing nations. So this is very important. This is very important thing. Globalization means there is a complex economic, political, cultural, and geographical process, geographical integration in which the mobility of the capital, the various organizations, ideas, and people taken into a global scenario. So, what we discussed about the globalization, the introduction of globalization. Then, what is the relationship between gender and globalization? That especially for women, especially in the current wave of globalization, especially lot of improvement in the lives of women worldwide, particularly lives of those women in the developing world. So women remain disadvantaged in many areas of life, including education opportunities, employment opportunities, health related activities, and civil rights. So in case of maternity, in case of women, and in case of maternity of that woman is still lacking in many part of the world, especially uh, in a global scenario. Approximately, uh, that means approximately 5 to 9 0 0 0, that is, uh, this is a number, women die annually during pregnancy and childbirth. in gender statistics. Gender statistics means this is a calculation made by the global organizations to uh, assess the conditions of the women in especially women and gender in worldwide scenario. In 2010 scenario to 2010 calculation of statistics, uh, actually 5 lakh 29,000 women die annually during the pregnancy and childbirth. This is a health condition of the women, especially countries with the lowest maternal mortality rate, deaths per especially 1 lakh live births, especially Singapore. In Singapore, Greece, while the highest mortality rate can be found in Chad, Somalia, etc. This is very important case to help remedy worldwide gender disparities in the field of health aspects. United Nations Millennium Development Goals, especially Sustainable Development Goals, prioritize there is some gender equality and empowerment of women, especially uh, in world scenario. And politicians and scientists trust the opportunities of the International Division of Labor in order to increase the prosperity of nations and the individuals. So it is a case of developing nations in the industrialized countries. So this is the there the process of globalization bears different aspect, different impact on women than on women in developing nations. They are not affected as a group, but in different ways according to their class and ethnicity. More women than men belong to temporary staff. This is very the contractual staff. Those who drop out of gainful employment. That is, there are also predominantly the number of women is increasing. Already in 70s, especially the International Division of Labor in 1970s, International Division of Labor was accelerated by transferring labor-intensive steps of production of clothing and electronic industries from the industrial nation of the north to the south of the countries of the south. Especially the cost of wages, additional wage cost, especially are reduced step by step in highly industrialized countries. Especially, this is already at the expense of jobs for women. Female gender, the remaining work that could not be replaced by machines, at least not more cost effectively than women do. So women are engaging a lot of work in low wage for a lower wage. So local companies led by these low wage, women are ready to face the difficulties. Women ready to do the job with these wages. They are also interested in saving additional wage cost and taxes. So low wage countries, women work in low wage countries, especially in the case of India, women work more willingly because only few of them are union members. Especially these are the core. Uh, so female labor force are more prevalent in India in lower wage rate. In developing nations like India, certain types of work such as garment assembly is considered to be extension of female household role. Therefore, there are cultural influences in developing nations in employment stratification. So higher demand of employment opportunities for women in developing nations in the it creates some expenditure uh, change within the social structure of these societies. So this is very important thing. The status of women in developing countries are still worse. In 1991 we introduced the globalization LPG strategy for the improvement of economic uh, uh, development for the development of economic aspect. Globalization, how the globalization and how it is impact on gender equality, that is very important. India has facing still she is facing the sex discrimination at birth. According to the 2017 analysis of demographic data, India will continue to have the worst sex ratio in South Asia even in 2050. Next 20 in next 27 years, the condition of women are not going to expand. The actually the 918 girls for 1000 boys according to the 2011 census. The government should take the necessary action in the form of Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao program. This is a program that this is a flagship program of central government, as we already discussed earlier. It is to provide survival, safety, and education to the girl child also. So it can diminish the country's ability to compete, especially internationally, particularly for the countries with export potential in goods and services with high female employment. There is gender inequality. The government will take the responsibility by creating some employment opportunities for the women. All the factors strengthen the incentives for the policy action towards the gender equality. But in India, in the execution of this public policy, especially execution, absence, not absence, execution of this public policy, globalization alone cannot reduce the gender inequality. New forces, new elements associated with globalization. So there is a combination of economic integration, technological diffusion, and greater access to the information, especially formal institutions and informal institutions, to lift the uh, greater aspect of gender equality. Some examples of the conditions of the women: trade openness. Trade openness. There is a global trade opportunities for the people in recent years. There is a diffusion of new information and communication technologies. There is mobile network, internet facilities. Uh, these have translated into more jobs opportunities, and there is strong connections for many women, especially LinkedIn. We are using LinkedIn profiles for the betterment of our conditions, increasing their access to economic opportunities. Especially, they are possibly affecting attitudes and behaviors. This is the globalization impact on women. There are also a positive impact of globalization on women. Globalization has increased the exports of different countries and wages in export sectors. Especially, uh, women have get higher wages than men in formal industrial sectors nowadays. So this globalization has increased the average wages of women, and also the bigger portion of their wages goes to women. This, with globalization, women's employment opportunities, uh, this is increasing, especially that thing is increasing, and now they are also contributing their family expenses with the support of creation of new resources, and raise their level of income of the family. Especially they are contributing to the family income, they are increasing family income with the help of globalization. There are some variety of choices for women in society has also increased. Women do lot of family work without any wages, in especially in India. At the same time, that all women's work all over the world is not valued. There is not there is no discrimination, especially there is discrimination among men and women in case of this thing. They are undervalued, especially nowadays their social choices and life choices has been increasing, in addition to giving them their self-confidence and increasing their morale also. More and more countries participating in international affairs, they are creating new employment opportunities. Women are also engaging in different fields, different sectors, different jobs for increasing their uh, lifestyle. Especially more countries, especially low income countries, has increased the participation of women in international affairs also. India is a predominantly agricultural nation. So, in agricultural work, we are using the traditional methods in, especially in northern part of India. This is very serious gender implications. In small farm sectors, especially traditional way, we are doing agricultural jobs in traditional way. The demand for women's work is very high. In Kerala, especially in Kerala, for harvesting, we are using machines instead of human power. But a 10-year older, we could see the importance of women's work in agricultural field, but their wages are very low. The increase of profitability of cash crops. So, in the case of cash crops, women are working more than men. There is economic independence of women. Because of this globalization, there are also structural adjustment policy given by the government, structural changes in agricultural production. Many countries started manufacturing of agricultural products to increase their export, and it is especially for women who are getting benefit from this, because these activities are good source of high wages, especially instead of family